Hola, people. Buenas. It's Makeda Valletta again, also known as the Renaissance Amazon. See, I can't even talk. Too much Spanish in my head. I'm about to go live on IG as well. Good. Let's flip this around. Yes, I do have Facebook. I'm Makeda Valletta on Facebook. Okay. So now I'm on Instagram and YouTube. YouTube at the Renaissance Amazon, Instagram at the underscore Renaissance underscore Amazon underscore you. Hey people. I hope you all are doing well today. It's Makeda Valletta, also known as the Renaissance Amazon. And I was gonna wait until later tonight to do a video on Medellin. Last night, 2 seconds of walking outside of my Airbnb, I literally fell in love. Like, my heart was full of love. Like, it was love at first sight. I believe in love at first sight. I experienced it with Medellin. And I wanted to talk about it last night, but I said, no, let me experience some more before I express my opinion. And even right now, I wasn't going to do it, but started raining outside and I was about to go somewhere. So I ran back in the house and I'm like, I'll use this time to do a video while it rains. And okay, so I've seen so many YouTube blogs of people that have moved to Medellin from different countries, a lot of Americans, a lot of Black Americans, a lot of white Americans. I've heard so many different things. I expressed some of that yesterday in the video that I did. And I must say that being here less than 24 hours, less than 24 hours, I understand why people fall in love with this city. I understand why people don't want to leave this city. If I got stuck here for the next 3 months, I would actually be fine, actually. And the reasons why, okay, like to me, Medellin is similar to like a tropical New York, like New York in the tropics, from what I've seen thus far. And I remember thinking that about Miami. The very first time I went to Miami, I was like, oh, it's like New York in the tropics. And then I realized, no, Miami is absolutely nothing like New York. Nada. Nothing like New York. The only thing New York and Miami have in common is it is a lot of immigrants from different places and different parts of the Caribbean and stuff. That's the only thing New York and Miami have in common. Because Miami, to me, is super fucking segregated. Like, way more than New York. Like, I'm not going to get into the comparisons. That's for another video. But Miami is not like New York to me. People say Atlanta is like a southern New York. No, it's not. Medellin, to me, is. And here's why. And this is why I feel so at home here. And I really love this place to the point where I feel like I might come back next month. Okay? And guess what? There's a bunch of like $108, $125 one-way tickets here from Chicago. From New York, like $140. So, this is what I love about Medellin. It's really, really hilly. I love hills. Love hills. I love to walk up a steep hill. It's like San Francisco hilly here. That's good because that keeps you in shape. Even as you age, there's a lot of elderly people here. Same thing with in Cuba, a lot of elderly people. And the elderly people are actually functional. They can walk up 6-7 blocks uphill. They're not bitching about that. And they're old. In America, people act like because they walk 6 blocks on flatland, they did something. And I always say, walking on flatland does nothing. You're not doing shit. That doesn't count. And I'm from Sugar Hill, Harlem, it's the highest point in Manhattan. A lot of Manhattan is flat. When you walk up hills, it works your glutes and your hamstrings. It really gets that. And so for me, I haven't been working out since I've been here, and I start feeling like I have like a complex about losing weight. And if I go too long and I don't work out, I lose weight. If I go too long and I don't eat ice cream and eat like some good fatty, hearty food, I feel like I'm losing weight, And so in Cartagena, I hated the food. It was horrible. Like the way I love Medellin so much, I don't care if I ever go back to Cartagena again. The only thing that I could say I like better about Cartagena is I like the weather better, actually. People say that Medellin has perfect weather. And perfect weather is relative to who you're talking to. Because I like Cartagena more because the sun is sunnier. Like this morning, it was like 88 degrees in Cartagena, and it was like 70 degrees here. 88 degrees in the morning at 9 a.m. is kind of intense, but you can just walk outside half naked, get all the sun, and you don't have to worry about carrying extra things. But in Medellin, it will get a little bit chillier. So, you know, I have on jeans because I want to blend in with people because everybody has on jeans. But to me, it's too hot for jeans. Like, I think it might be like 79 degrees, but it's a hot 79 degrees. Especially when you start walking up hills and building up heat. So I'm outside like, fuck, I want to cut my damn jeans off. Like, I might have to put on some shorts. But then I was nervous because I'm like, if I'm out all day and it gets chilly, I wish I had my jeans. I got a solution. I'm gonna put on my shorts and put my jeans in my book bag. But there's a sneaker culture in Medellin, right? So it reminds me of New York. When New York, we are all about sneakers. The girls, the guys, the shit's coordinated. Same thing here. There's tons of good food here, like tons of good food. Like I'm in food heaven. Like I always say that Chicago is my favorite food city in America. Yeah, Medellin, and I'm very excited to go to Bogota because I know that they have even better food. But there's so much food everywhere and good food, like good Peruvian food. I love Peruvian food, and it's so hard to find. That's the one thing that Miami does have to offer. They have a lot of good Peruvian food. A lot of good Peruvian food, good Mexican food, good Colombian food. They have like the only thing that the American they have like most countries is like burgers and pizza, but they have like artisanal burger places. This right here, this is a chai latte I got with Bailey's. Like you could just get on the menu chai latte and Bailey's, and you could go. I know in Cartagena you could drink outside like you can in New Orleans. I'm not sure if you could drink outside here, but you must be able to because I surely got chai tea and Bailey's and left, you know. And the food I had last night was so freaking good. And it's just, the people are friendly. I don't feel like I'm in danger. I feel more in danger in the south side of Chicago and Baltimore and Oakland, which scares the fuck out of me. The hoods of Oakland, the hoods of Philly, all the hood in motherfucking New Orleans. Like all that shit to me is scarier than how I feel in Medellin. Medellin, though, it's like the way that people like I'm not in the hood in Medellin, but I'm also not in the richest area either. Other thing about it reminds me of New York because it's when I went outside last night, it was Libby, okay? It reminds me of my neighborhood in New York. I'm from a neighborhood called Washington Heights. A lot of people, when they go to New York, they don't go to Washington Heights. They go to Harlem. Washington Heights is the next neighborhood north of Harlem. And I'm going to do a video about New York to tell people, you know, the real on where to go when you come to New York because I know that city. But Washington Heights is a lit tea, okay? That's a heavily Dominican neighborhood. And at 2 in the morning, you go outside of my neighborhood, you see kids running up and down the street. And as Americans, you're thinking, why aren't these kids in the bed? But there's kids outside at 2 in the morning in my neighborhood in the Heights. The barbershops in my neighborhood in the Heights seem like they never close. Same thing here. I'm outside like 11 o'clock. Barbershops open. People in the barbershops. You got so much food, like just restaurants, but then also people on the street selling food that they're cooking. So you got food in restaurants and street food. All different types of stuff. As I'm speaking in English, I'm also thinking in Spanish. Nobody speaks English. I think like 10% of Colombians speak English. So most people do not speak English. And even though there are a lot of people in Medellin from America, I've met a dude from Brooklyn. I even came across a blog. I met a dude from Brooklyn who's been here for years, but I even came across a blog from a Black American from the Bronx who's been here for 7 years. And I loved his, I'm gonna post it on my YouTube video. There's a lot of people here from the United States that live here and from other places. And a lot of people that don't speak a word of English. How people function here not speaking a word of, I'm not word of English, sorry, word of Spanish. How people function here not speaking a word of Spanish, I have no idea. But because I do speak some Spanish and I feel like that gets me by. I feel like if you can't say something to them in Spanish and you try to speak any Spanish, if you're a Spanish speaking person and you move to America, you can find communities where people speak Spanish and you never have to learn English. If you are a Spanish speaking person and you fly into LA, New York, Chicago, Miami, probably places in Texas, there's people in the airport that is fully fluent in Spanish that can help you. Here, that's not the case. Nobody's fluent in English, okay? So, but I understand Colombians very well, though, you know, and to me, it feels like home because my neighborhood in New York, mi barrio en Nueva York, es más Dominicanos, and I hear Spanish all day long in my neighborhood in New York. So I'm used to hearing Spanish all day. I'm used to hearing the music. Like I heard music blasting. I'm on the 19th floor, by the way. I'm on the 19th floor in an apartment, and I heard music blasting from everywhere until like I didn't stop hearing it till like 4 something in the morning, and then I wake up this morning at like 9, and there's music blasting. Like they got the music pumping. I love that. You know, I love that. I'm a city person. I love a dope city. I love a stimulating city. And that's why I love New York and New Orleans. Those are my 2 favorite cities in the United States. Chicago is a beautiful city. Chicago has great food, but Chicago doesn't stimulate me. Chicago doesn't have an energy in the streets that New York has, or Medellin, right? So Medellin reminds me of New York because I go outside, I go around the corner, there's dudes breakdancing in the street, like literally, like when the light turns red, these 2 dudes would go into the crosswalk and start breaking. And then when I first saw them, they were breaking to All the Way Up by Fat Joe and Remy Ma. And I'm like, that's what's up. That's my hood. They danced to some shit from the Bronx. And then, so it's funny, like when people see me dance salsa and they like, oh, how you know how to dance like that? And you're American. But nobody asks them how you know how to break dance and how you know hip hop and you not, you know what I'm saying? That's from not my neighborhood and my people. But people here love that shit, you know? And to see people breaking and like, you know, that reminded me of some shit I would see in New York, like good street performers doing something like that. And then, you know, all the good, one thing about here, everybody's booed up. So in America, it's not abnormal for a woman to be walking alone or be by herself doing things alone. But here, everyone has to do, like from teenagers to old men, okay, to old people. Everybody is booed up. Hands holding, you know, they sitting there eating, the dude is rubbing her hand and, you know, like really, and if they're not, if the woman is not with her man, then she's with her family. You know, she's with like her mother and with her family. Now, people say that Medellin is whiter than, you know, Cali and like other cities, Cartagena, stuff like that. But to me, where I was at last night, if I just took a picture and I didn't know where I was, like you could have told me I wasn't in New York. By the diversity of the people, how they dressed. They remind me of New York. Sneaker culture, you know, real coordinated. They know how to dress, you know, nobody looks dusty at all. Everybody is super friendly. Even like, you know, like even some of the people, like they had like a mojito bar and like, you know, like even if you don't speak Spanish or your Spanish is not perfect, nobody's looking at you crazy. Like sometimes in Havana, sometimes people will look at you like they're annoyed because you don't speak Spanish, which you know, but here nobody is like that. They're super helpful, beautiful people. And I feel like everything that I want, I could get, just go outside and get. And that's how I feel in New York. And that's what I like about the city. I like access, okay? And I have a lot of love for Chicago, but at this point, I'm like, damn, I should have moved to Medellin because it's a cheap flight, you know, back to the States, and it's a city that stimulates me, you know. I always say I got mad love for Chicago, but it doesn't stimulate me. It doesn't inspire me. There's so many beautiful murals here, you know, beautiful artwork. And this is one funny story from Cartagena, which I'm so over Cartagena, but the thing about Cartagena, the last day I was there, this taxi driver drove up to me. He was blasting Migos. I think he might have been playing Walk It Like You Talk It, Migos. And he didn't speak English, but he pulled up to me. He's like trying to rap it, blasting it. And he didn't even know what he was saying or anything. And I found it really funny, like, because I love trap music. That's the one thing that I do miss is you don't hear that here. But I love, you guys know I love salsa and Latin music. So last night I was going to go out dancing. I was going to go out dancing alone. But because they have Uber here, and I wanted to take Uber, but something was wrong with my Uber account. So I was troubleshooting, trying to figure it out. I don't like taking taxis. Well, I've been taking a taxi in Medellin, but just when I've been in Latin America, because a lot of times, like, they don't know where shit is. And I'm going to do that in another video about, like, the addresses and shit be confusing. Like, in Latin America, people, the places I've been in Latin America, people's addresses be kind of, like, vague. And then you go tell a cab and they don't know what you're talking about. And then cabs will try to drop you off in the wrong place. And if you don't know where you're going or where you came from, you could get really lost. So, and also the taxi was more money. Like, it was probably, where I was going was 10-minute drive, and it would have been 10,000 pesos in a taxi, which is about $3 and change in US money. But on Uber, it was 6,900 pesos, which is like $2, you know? So it was like a little bit cheaper in Uber. And sometimes I like doing that because then it just comes I don't have to use my cash and keep going to the ATM. So I didn't go out dancing last night, but I am going to explore today. And I do see Black people here, and the Black people here don't seem to be unhappy. Like they seem okay, but you don't always, know what the real is. The thing about Latin America, and that's a whole other video I'm gonna do about race and culture, because I don't feel like the United States completely has it right with how we view race and how we deal with it. But Latin America has their issues too, and their color issues too. But one thing is that this is a double-edged sword to them not making a big deal out of it. In Latin America, a lot of times, generally speaking, they don't make a big deal out of color. They try to act like, oh, we're all the same, which is actually not true. But at the same time, you see a lot of mixed couples. Same thing in Cuba. In Cuba, you saw a white with Black, or Indian with white, and nobody was tripping on that. It was like totally normal. Like nobody was even flinching. Like, oh, she's white as hell with that Black dude, or she, and that's how it is here. So the mixtures happen, and it kind of goes unsaid. And so I'm sitting there observing last night, and I see a white woman with an indigenous man. I see Afro-indigenous woman with a white-looking dude, and like nobody is like looking like, oh, why? It's just not that. So I like that, and that reminded me of New York, because I'm used to seeing mixed groups of friends and mixed couples and people just chill. And so there are issues here with color, but it's not like something blatant. And you don't see anybody being unhappy. I never felt like anybody was treating me wrong or anything like that. Now, the funny thing that happened last night, it's so funny with culture, because here you feel like, even in Cartagena, you feel kind of wrong getting mad at people, because everybody's just so nice, and you have to blend in with the culture. That's what I was saying about food. Like in Cartagena, there was so much horrible food that I paid for because I felt bad telling them I don't like this. In America, I would have said, this is horrible, I don't want it. They would have given my money back. But here, I'm like, no, I'm just gonna pay for it and like not say nothing and take it to go and throw it away. That's what I'm gonna do, to be polite. But so I'm on an elevator last night, and I absolutely hate little dogs. I hate little ass dogs that want to be all on your motherfucking ankles, making a bunch of noise and clawing at you. I hate them. On my bucket list, okay, one of my life dreams before I die is to kick one of them shits, like a football. I hate them. Because first of all, generally speaking, I don't hate dogs, but generally speaking, dogs don't respect personal space. They're the one animals that don't do that shit. It's like, look, don't fucking come over here and put your wet nose on me. Don't touch me. I don't want to feel your fur. Like, get out of my aura. But last night, I was on this little ass elevator in the building with like 4 people. So the elevator was already packed. Then the elevator stops and it opens, and this little girl and 3 little dogs, okay, run onto the elevator. And the 3 little dogs were not on leashes. And the door closes. And so I'm on the elevator, and she's with her father or something. But now I'm on the elevator with like 6 people, tight elevator, like 6 people, and 3 little dogs running all around, crazy, hyper little dogs. They were all in my ankles. I had to literally remove myself from my body. Like I had to like leave my body. I had to leave my body and tense up, because I was like, I don't want to kick one of these dogs, especially because the little girl was right. She got down on the floor to play with them, and she was right by my feet. So I'm thinking, if I kick this dog, I might kick the little girl. People will see me. They'll think I'm horrible because everybody's so happy. But it was kind of funny because the little girl had this cute little girl voice, and she was like laughing so much, and the dogs are running around crazy, and she's like, oh yay, and I kind of had to move myself. I was going like, this is not happening to me right now. And then the elevator, we stopped at the floor, the elevator door opened, and the dogs ran off the elevator all through the lobby, and the woman that was waiting for the elevator jumped back, and you got dogs running all around the lobby crazy, and the little girl's just cracking up, and I'm just like, I hate that. But, so I don't know, this city is really beautiful. Like, it's just so beautiful. This is called the City of Flowers. The City of Flowers. And to have flowers, you have to have rain. So it rains every day. So I came inside to escape the rain. It's not raining. I'm going to go outside and explore. But there's beautiful street art, beautiful artwork, good food, every step you take. Oh, that's the other thing. When I went outside, not only was there food everywhere, but then there's sexy stores, sexy clothing stores. So, Latinas, they like to be sexy. I don't have a problem with that because it fits in with me, right? So I see the store is called Healthy Sex. There was a store called Healthy Sex right around the corner, and it had sex toys and lingerie, and then another store. There's like a bunch of stores like that with sneaker stores, barbershop, food, ice cream shops. There was a gelato place. There's a bunch of ice cream. The same thing in Cuba. They love ice cream, which I also love because I'm an ice cream lover. And I was thinking to myself, I would literally be suicidal if I could not have ice cream. Like if I was someplace and I couldn't have ice cream anymore, I need dairy. I need dairy. This drink, I'm never gonna stop eating that. Like it's an important part of my diet. And ice cream, man. So Cartagena, the ice cream was horrible. Everything was horrible. The food was vomit in Cartagena. The food here is so good. And there's a gelato place. I asked them what time they close. They tell me midnight. I'm like, where do they do that at? Because I've never seen ice cream places, a big artisanal ice cream place that closes at midnight. That's heaven to me. And I like the fact that they're like a late city, you know, because for me, it's hard for me. Chicago's an early city. Philly's an early city. LA is too damn early. Like, LA to me is the lamest place to party. Like, how your clubs close at 2? Like, it's too early. And for me being a New Yorker, like New York, New Orleans, Miami, those are late cities. So for me, I'm used to getting ready late. I'm not used to going someplace at 10 o'clock and 9 o'clock and stuff like that. So here, shit be turned up. Stuff is open late. There's bodegas, stores, everything you need everywhere. And tomorrow, I'm going to stay in a different neighborhood. Tomorrow, I'm staying in a different Airbnb in a neighborhood called El Poblado. El Poblado is like the richest neighborhood in Cartagena. But if you're American, it's extremely affordable. And so I'll be there tomorrow in a different Airbnb, and I'll show you that. The place I'm staying at now is actually $19 a night, actually. This whole place to myself, $19 a night. And, you know, the healthcare here is so much cheaper. That's the reason why a lot of Americans come here to get different healthcare and stuff done. The healthcare system here is very, very good, and it's extremely cheap. Extremely cheap, like 70% cheaper than like somebody could pay, like they some type of heart surgery in the United States. It might cost them $500,000. It costs them $20,000 here or something. Like it's just way cheaper in that way. And then the city is so modern. Like it's not like a third world country. Like it's not like, you know, sometimes you go to some places in Latin America or the Caribbean and it's like you're in a third world country and you just have to accept the fact that you can't get this, you can't get that, and this is gonna be rough. And you know, not here. It's not like that. It's extremely modern. And so I'm about to go take the public transportation. I just absolutely love this place. Absolutely love it. Like as of last night, I said this is one of my favorite cities in the whole wide world. I can tell you that right now. And I now understand all the people that I've seen on YouTube who said that they came to South America wanting to go on a tour of South America, and they came here first and never left. I've heard people say that they had been all around South and Central America, and they came here and they fell in love and never left. And I really felt that way last night, you know. And then I'm thinking like, but if I never left here, like how would I date? Now I'm like, but you know what? My Spanish is getting better, and there's a lot of people here is also American. Like, there's a lot of Afro-Americans here from all over the United States, and a lot of New Yorkers, a lot of people from a lot of places. So I'm like, that wouldn't be an issue. And then it's so funny because this black guy last night, he was, he's a Colombian, and he was just all in my shit. And I found it funny because I'm like, the way he's acting, like, oh my, like just tripping on himself over me. And I'm just like, there's pretty girls everywhere around here. So that's a big compliment. If you over here thinking I'm so amazing, like this is Colombia. Like you just go anywhere. These girls look good. And he's just like, yeah, but you're different and you're original, and like just being real straight up with the shit he's saying, which doesn't offend me because I'm a New Yorker. You know, so people. And Latin America, one thing I appreciate about Latin America is they have such a good sense of humor. Like, they are funny. If you watch Spanish people talk, I don't care what country they come from, Mexico, Puerto Rico, Colombia, like Venezuela, like you watch them talk, they stay cracking up. Like they crack jokes nonstop. So I like that about them. And yeah, like those are things off the top of my head that I know I wanted to say that I loved about Cartagena. And yeah, it does have a pollution problem like New York. Like when I was watching the people breaking on the in the street, there was like piles of garbage next to me, and I could smell it, but it smelled like rotten fruit. Like it smelled like old fruit. And I'm used to that in New York. But you know what I said? I said, okay, some of the dopest cities got garbage. Like that's the trade-off. Like New York is dirty, but New York is dope as fuck. I think that New York and New Orleans are the two dopest cities in the United States, hands down. There's a lot of cool cities in the United States, But to me, nothing touches New York, nothing touches New Orleans. But New York and New Orleans both can stink like fuck in the summertime with the garbage. You know what I'm saying? But New Orleans in the summertime, there's roaches that be like on the sidewalk and shit. That I'm like walking down the street with sandals and I have to jump over a big cockroach before that shit crawls on my toes. So New Orleans can be kind of like that as well. But it's the illest stuff, you know. And New York is the illest stuff. And Medellin, same shit. It's dope. So I did capture a little video and photo as I walked around, but I try not to do it too much because I don't want to stand out too much like, oh, she's not from here, because people aren't really doing that. But then I do want to document some things for you guys, but I also want to be present. So I did this little video while I waited for the rain to stop. It has stopped. So I'm going to go outside, maybe put my shorts on. That's the thing about weather acclimation. Like, to me, it's too hot to have on these jeans, but everybody has on jeans. But that's the same way, like, but they're used to this heat, so they would be having on like long sleeve shit and jackets when it's hot as fuck. But that's the same way, like, they can put more clothes on in the heat where we all need to have less clothes on. But then if they come someplace where it's colder, like 30 degrees is not that cold to me if I throw on a sweater and a jacket and a coat. Like, it's not that serious. But to somebody who their body's not acclimated to it, 30 degrees feels like 0 to them, you know? So that's the other interesting thing. But yeah, that's what I wanted to share about Medellin today. Now let me see some more of it so I can share some more. And I definitely am obsessed with Colombia. Like, before I came here, I was like, maybe because Panama had been in my mind since I spent time in Costa Rica. I was like, Panama. I kept saying maybe I should go to Panama. Panama didn't really call me, but I just was like, but now after coming here, I'm like, the hell with Panama. I'm not spending time going to Panama. I wasn't done with Cuba yet, but I'm like, I'm not even messing with Cuba no time soon. Like, I'm all about Colombia now. I want to go to Cali. I want to go to Bogota. I want to come back to Medellin. You can miss me with Cartagena. And I want to go to Buenaventura, which is very Afro-Colombian. And so I'm all about Colombia now. Like, I fucking love this place. This is like a jewel, okay? So if you want to go someplace dope, for real, come to Colombia, come to Medellin, is all I gotta say. Okay, people, let me go enjoy my day. Thanks for listening, and follow me on YouTube and Instagram. Bye-bye. Let me see. What did somebody write? Oops. Oh, I see. One dumb. It's funny. I never look at the comments, but there's one dumb chick named Kathy Thomas who obviously has an inferiority complex, writing comments saying I'm pretending to be something I'm not. Kathy Thomas, you obviously want to kiss my ass. That's why you're so up in the conversation. And you obviously have no life. Because who has time to sit there and do that? Who? And there's such losers in this world. It's so sad how people have no life. I'm reporting this person. Oh yeah, I do want to go to Peru. Hold on. I'm trying to. I only have this thing still going because I'm reporting this idiot. Kathy Thomas wrote, she's not Cuban. I never said I was Cuban, idiot. I'm American. And, yep, okay, people. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. Bye-bye.